Hi everyone, welcome to this month's edition of On Duty. I am Officer Sloan and I am out here on Trowbridge Lane with Sergeant Schumacher to talk a little bit about speed trailers. Thanks for joining me out here, Sergeant Schumacher. Tell me a little bit about the speed trailer.
Well, this is one of the two speed trailers that we have at the Elk Grove Village Police Department, and it serves several functions. We deploy this to remind people their speed, make them more cognizant of how quick they're driving on our side streets. One of the ways we do that is a visual display. If someone's driving by, it'll display their speed and remind them how fast they're going in a residential area. We can also use this to record data so that we do decide to do enforcement action on that street. We can really focus our efforts to specific days and times when we find people speeding up and down the street. It makes us more efficient.
Cool. So how long does the speed trailer stay out on location?
So the reason we use the speed trailers is we perceive a problem and we need to do something to try to slow people down and make the road safer, or people that live within the neighborhood see people speeding up and down their street and they contact us to have a speed trailer placed out here, again, to try to remind people and change their driving behavior and make the neighborhood a little safer for everyone else.
So Sergeant Schumacher, how exactly does this work?
Well, the speed trailer itself has a whole bunch of marine cell batteries in here and a solar panel, so we can have this thing out here for weeks at a time in good weather, displaying speed and recording data. Like I said, it's a big LED signboard that we can put different kinds of messages on, and typically for a speeding purpose we'll display the person's speed as they're driving by, but it also has a radar unit mounted inside of here, and the radar is what captures the speed of the vehicles traveling towards it. So by analyzing all the data, we can look at specific days of the week and specific times of the day when we see if we have a problem on the roadway with people speeding. And that way, when we send our officers out here to do directed enforcement, we can use them more efficiently and effectively, knowing that we only have to be out here for a specific time on that day to catch the people that are repeatedly speeding down the road.
Okay. Now, where does the data get kept or stored?
So we use a cloud service. So we have 2 speed trailers and we have 6 of the little speed sentry signs that are about 12 inches by 12 inches. Those are great for stealth speed surveys where you really don't see a large thing like this on the side of the road. We can collect data without people knowing that they're being watched, and it really gives us more accurate data. And then everything goes up into the cloud, and we want to pull that data up on any one of our trailers or any one of our signs. We have access to it.
Okay. So what I am to understand is that you collect all this data, then you assign an officer if there is a problem to that area to address the problem in person.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And quite often we do have problems with cars cutting through and speeding on residential streets, but a lot of times it's also a matter of perception. People that live on a curve typically think cars are going faster than they really are because of the perception of the speed in the curve. We can show them the data and say, listen, this is what's actually taking place on your street. It's really not a speeding issue, and we can reassure them that the people that are driving by their house are not speeding. Or show them, yes, we did find a problem. It's happening on this specific day at this specific time, and we're taking care of it, so it won't happen again.
Okay, very cool. So now if someone believes there's a problem on their street with speeders, what exactly should they do?
Well, there's 2 ways that they can contact us so that we can put a speed trailer out, and both ways are online. We have the village website, which they can go on to and they can request a speed trailer, or there's a program called Accela, and it's a service request, and they can put a specific message, and if they know the specific time of day or when there's issues that are going on, the more specific the better, but they can just request a speed trailer on their street, and when we have a chance to get it out there, we'll put it out.
Okay, very cool. Thank you very much for explaining this to me today, and I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm with the company that's been working on the roof of your neighbor in back.
Oh, yeah, he needs...
Yeah, definitely. And, one thing we noticed while we were up there is that your chimney isn't looking too good. The mortar looks like it's a little loose,
Really?
especially near the top of it.
I was just out there yesterday, kind of walking around, the nice weather we had. And
Yeah, but when you're up on top on the roof, you can see all the stuff, up there, but when you're on the ground, you don't see it. But I did notice a little bit towards the ground, so I could probably show you,
Sure,
let me
I'd like
point
to
out
see
to
it.
you what it looks like and where the problems are. Yeah, you see the top brick up in the middle up there?
Oh,
you see
yeah,
how the mortar, it's looking really, it's almost looking like it's chipping off.
Now, what would
and that
cause
the
that, I wonder?
bricks would start falling off. I don't know, it could be just time, the weather. And when we're up on the roof, it actually looks a lot worse up there than what we can see down on the ground level.
Well, that's
But
surprising. Like, I've never seen that.
if you come over here, you can even see, it's not as bad down here, but it's already starting to chip away down here. So I really suggest that, you get this taken care of as soon as possible. And
Tell me what happens if I don't do it right away. How fast does this deteriorate?
It'll start deteriorating. The bricks, everything might start falling, and you don't want, there's little kids in the neighborhood and animals. You don't want, harm someone.
It looks like some of it was repaired already. Is that?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It might have been, but we are doing work in the area.
Well, I moved into this house a couple of years ago, and they told me everything was fine, but I can see that there are parts that are starting to weather here.
Yeah, I really recommend you getting it done soon. And, I bet we can get this done, at a really low rate because we are doing a lot of work in the area, so we don't have to buy the material. Just looking at it real fast, it shouldn't take too long to do. We could probably do it for about maybe $50.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, like I said, we're doing work in the area already, so,
when could you do it?
Probably sometime either later today or maybe early tomorrow. I just have to check with my supervisor first. He has to come out and just double check that we can't charge you this low.
$50 I can't say no.
Yeah, and
I have to go ahead.
he's waiting right outside in that red car that was on the street. And let me go talk to him. And you stay here, and I'll bring him over.
You're able to do the work when?
Probably either later this afternoon or early morning at latest.
Home.
Yeah, okay. I'll go talk to him. You stay right here, and I'll go see what he says.
Okay.
We'll bring him back.
I'm Officer Ed Thomas of the Elko Village Police Department. The events you saw portrayed are what we refer to as a ruse burglary. I'd like to welcome you to this month's edition of On Duty. This documentation that we saw today involved home repair. Some other ploys that might be incorporated while at your door might include the fact that the criminal lost a pet, they're moving into the area, they need a glass of water, or that they're utility workers checking water or gas in the area. Once in your residence, they usually distract you, the homeowner, while others who are working with them sneak in and look for valuables. After they leave, there's usually little sign of ransacking. Items taken can include jewelry, currency, and important identity papers. This theft may be discovered immediately or weeks later when you actually are looking for the items which had been stolen. Once inside, one of the offenders will usually keep the victim occupied, while others involved will go to the bedroom or closets where valuables can be found. And offenders pick their victims wisely. They know that since their physical appearance can be changed, many times they will not be caught. Also, they move from city to city and state to state quite often, thus lessening their chance of capture. Studies have shown that these types of crimes occur between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m., that being 56% of the time, and from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., that being 42% of the time. Regarding the most common time of the week that these crimes occur, Monday through Friday account for 95%. In terms of season, 49% of these types of crimes occur in the spring months. The offenders who are involved in these type of criminal acts are usually male, though it is not uncommon for them to use women and children. They can be working alone, or they can be working in groups. Some ways to prevent this type of incident from occurring at your house might be not to allow any unknown person to enter your home. Don't let any strangers in, and be sure to call the police if you see strangers or strange cars in the area that you know don't belong there. If somebody comes to your door asking you if they can come in and use your phone to call the police, tell them to wait outside and you will do that for them. Never let someone in your house without first verifying their identity and the purpose for their visit. If you'd like more information regarding this type of criminal activity, feel free to call the Elko Village Police Department Crime Prevention Unit at either extension 4151 or 4152. If you feel you've been the victim of this type of criminal act and it's occurring, dial 911, or for report purposes, feel free to call us at our business number. Thank you.